Hi, I'm Angie Pontani, the burlesque superstar who has spent the last 20 years shimmying and shaking around the globe. I've performed in showrooms, ballrooms, small rooms, and big rooms, every room except a mushroom. Along the way, I've met some amazing people, and I'd like to introduce them to you. Together, we will pull back the curtain to reveal what really happens behind the glitter, feathers, and tassels. So join me for the bump and grind. It's another week in quarantine in Brooklyn, New York, and it's been over 3 months now, and it's astounding to think about my life, like what it was like in mid-March. It seems like a memory from years ago, not just a couple months ago. Simple stuff like going to the gym, being on stage, talking to more than 3 people a day, wearing pants that don't have an elastic waistband. I did that? I'm going to need like a gentle reintroduction to society when this is all over because I'm so far from my normal life and my normal day. I don't even remember what they felt like. But that brings into play today's guests. Today's guest brought back a ton of memories that were so vivid. I just felt like I was in those moments with him. He stormed into my basement studio that he makes a lot of fun of, by the way. We were socially distanced, so don't worry. Stormed into the studio and we hit the ground running and my stomach still hurts from laughing. But that's right, guys. I'm talking about Mr. Showbiz, the one and only Murray Hill. So his positivity, his let's do it attitude, it's something I've always loved about him, and it comes right through in this interview, and I think it's so appropriate right now. So this conversation, it left me itching to get back on stage and back out into the world, sharing what we both love, showbiz. So get ready to laugh until your face hurts. Welcome to the Bump and Grind, the world famous comic genius and MC, Mr. Murray Hill. So I'm here today with the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Murray Hill. Murray, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day.
Well, I am so busy right now. And, if I'm going to social distance with anybody in their 1983 designed Italian basement, it's going to be you, kid.
Thank you so much.
I know you've printed out questions for me.
Oh, no.
Which, I can't wait to dive into these Barbara Walters cutting edge questions. But I just want to let the listeners know at home that you are wearing a Fashion Nova tracksuit, and the top of it is a half shirt hoodie. So if anyone could get the that visual, and I'm wearing a tuxedo, shimmering blue, and the shirt's open because my neck has gained 10 pounds during quarantine.
Well, that's why I'm in a sweatsuit as well.
But anyway, please, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to give the three people that are going to be listening to this a little visual of what you and I both look like.
Well, I didn't expect to go off the rails so soon, but yet here we are. And friends, this is what life is like with Murray Hill.
Yeah, it's called laughing.
All right, so we have known each other for a long, long time. Do you remember the first time that we met?
Well, we met at that party.
That was
the first time I saw you, I think, was at the Supper Club at a big show. But yeah, we both were at the Soho House hotel or something. What's the guy's name?
Luigi.
We were both hired to do a wedding in a hotel room, and it was a total shit show.
Yes.
And we were bonding in the dressing room, otherwise known as
the holding pen for their dogs.
The holding pen for their dogs. And so we met under like showbiz crazy circumstances, and basically our careers together went downhill from there.
Yeah, but I'll never forget that we were literally like, these people were filthy, filthy rich, and our dressing room was in the hotel in a room that was where their dogs were staying, and the dog walkers were in there taking care of the dogs. And we were in there. And oh my God, knowing you for so long now, I can't imagine how internally you must have been freaking out about that.
I was. And I think I walked around that hotel for like 16 hours trying to get my check.
Yeah.
A paper check.
And I remember-
Handwritten paper check.
We performed in the middle of the dance floor, and there was like no lights, no. I don't even think you had a microphone.
No microphone.
Oh, how things have changed or haven't.
Yeah, it was a wonderful memory. But we bonded over Showbiz.
And being in the dressing room with the dogs and being Italian.
Yes, I am half Italian, and the half that's not fitting into my pants, that's the Italian part.
So, all right. So you start out your career. You're going to hop around a little bit
Why aren't
here.
you looking at me? Why are you
Because
looking at
I'm
the wall?
trying to get into my zone, and then I look at you, you take me out of my zone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you started out doing comedy, right? And I read somewhere, and this is totally before the time that I knew you, that your act when you were at Club Casanova was like Elvis-esque.
Yeah, before I ran for mayor of New York in 1997,
Yes, that I remember.
I was working at this place called the Nines at Flamingo East with Penny Tuesday. You remember her?
Oh my gosh.
On Sunday nights, and then that was till like 1 a.m. And then after that, I would go to Club Casanova, which is at a place called Cake on Avenue A. I would go there at like 2 a.m. and there was drag king shows there. So I was like this kind of lounge lizard character. And then at the Nines, because it was a swing party, and then at Club Casanova, I would do these like acts. So like I did the fat Elvis, and I remember I was at grad school at the time, and I borrowed $60 from my boss because I was interning, and to buy a polyester glittery Elvis tracksuit.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was like one of the first things I did. I was like a fat Elvis. I was like popping pills.
Did you sing?
Well, I lip sync back then. You know, I was just to that particular song. And then I used to do what's that gymnastics coach? Bella Caroli.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I dressed it so I can send you pictures to post.
Oh my God, I would really love to see these.
As Bella Caroli with Penelope Tuesday was that gymnast that broke her ankle. Like we did a whole Olympic skit. So I used to do these like tragic fat guy characters.
Like little vignettes.
Yeah, like little, but it was always campy and comedy, and you know, a lot of the other drag king shows back then were more serious of like passing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna make fun of this, you know, like Jackie Gleason, Archie Bunker, like that kind of guy.
Totally. So when did you transition from that type of character, like an Elvis character, into like when you perform, like you instantly like evoke for me like the Rat Pack and Benny Hill and Don Rickles and all these kinds of like that era of entertainment. So how did you like go from Elvis to that? Was that something that you always loved, or did that come into play later in your life?
Well, I always loved showbiz as a kid, but I don't even think you know this. When I first moved to New York, my second year in school, I interned for a documentary filmmaker, and he was doing a doc on swing.
Oh.
And it was like, I feel like I learned so much from this guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was like, he basically was like, okay, do the research for this film.
What was the film?
Like, I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to, like, you know, I feel like I got my resourcefulness from that job. So I was like, literally, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I was on the phone with Artie Shaw.
Oh my God.
And all these like old school cats. And I read everything on Tommy Dorsey, on Sinatra, on Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin. So it's like, I got all this like education.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he literally just, the filmmaker, I like put together the whole proposal, the everything. I did all the Solomon Burke, all this stuff. And that's when I got hooked on swing music, Frank Sinatra, you know, Dean Martin, the early, you know, all that, Artie Shaw, all that stuff. Tommy Dorsey.
What was Artie Shaw like on the phone? Was he cool?
He was crazy. No, he's a total character.
He was a little nut, right?
Yeah, he was nuts. So, you know, I think that's where I started. It's like everything with me kind of merged at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like I was so into that, and then that lounge party started.
Yeah.
So it was like everything was kind of getting mixed up, in my mind together.
That's so funny because I pictured you like as a little kid, like watching Don Rickles and being like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, no, I mean, as a little kid, I watched, I wasn't allowed to watch Benny Hill, but I did.
Yeah.
And so I would secretly watch Benny Hill, and I would secretly watch, you're not going to believe this, Three's Company.
And who was your favorite?
Yeah, and people ask me like, "Who's your comedic influence?" I'm like, Jack Tripper. He was so fucking funny.
His physical comedy was really amazing.
The double entendres, and the other show that you can see I was doing a lot of sneaking around is Johnny Carson. So I watch Johnny Carson every night. It's late.
Yeah.
For a kid, and I think that's where I started seeing. You don't even know this. That's where I started seeing all those old school guys.
Yeah.
Because it was like the late 70s and the 80s.
For sure, totally. They were still kicking.
Yeah, Rickles, like Toady Field.
And they were even more loose at that time.
Yeah, Sinatra, like all those guys I saw, and I think it was these larger-than-life personalities.
Yeah.
And like the fun and the casualness and the rapport and the glitz and the stardust. I was like, yeah, I think I want to have that life and not be in this suburban right-wing hellhole. So
that was your escape plan.
That was my escape plan unconsciously.
How's it working out?
Well, I'm in a basement now in 3 hours from Manhattan in suburbs.
It's an hour and 5 minutes on a good day. So you take all right, so you discover all these characters, these influences while you're working on this film. Was the film ever made?
I don't think it was.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So this was like the late 90s when the swing scene is like popping in New York City.
And it was for like a what are they called? Like the PBS Masterclass. So it was like a swing 3-part documentary. So I think we only got to the research and development part of it, which I ended up doing all of that, and I was like, 22 or something.
Well, I'm sure those skills have helped you later in life in your research and development.
No, they are, because it's what I learned. I feel like I learned to be a New Yorker with that guy. At the time, I had no guidance from him. He just said, do this. And I was like, what? Contact Artie Shaw?
It's insane. Like, how would that even be possible?
This is before, the internet.
Yeah.
So, I learned that thing in New York, that the hustle, the contacts, you call this person, you get this person, you get that person, you get your name drop. So I just learned how to like get shit done. And that definitely has been a huge asset or hindrance, whether you.
I think it's an asset.
No, it's that's kind of how I just take care of business.
So you go back to the drag clubs with this character with Murray Hill. Like Murray is coming.
So I ran for mayor, so I did all the different characters, right? And then I was this lounge lizard at the Nines party, and then. I was very influenced by feminist performance art and all this stuff, and the whole feminist performance art of the 70s was the personal is political, and like you become the subject matter. So it was like all that was going on in my head, and then Giuliani was running for mayor, and he was shutting down the nightclubs and all that
strip
shit.
Clubs.
Yeah, for these antiquated cabaret laws. So I literally had an idea when I was on a payphone. I'm like, I'm going to run for mayor. Murray for mayor. And I'm going to represent the nightlife people.
I remember this. I can't believe it was 97.
Yeah, so I ran for mayor, and it's like, so that I gave campaign speeches. I went out and campaigned. And even in the early days, it wasn't just like, I didn't do just queer clubs. I was always in the straight community and the queer community at the same time. So I was, campaigning by like the Met Museum on Fifth Avenue, and then a nightclub on Avenue C. So, so that became a whole character. Obviously, I lost.
Does it still sting a little?
Everything still stinks, and mostly that's the HPV. But can you put a rim shot in there?
Yes.
No, a real one. Not
Oh yeah. I'll talk to my people. I'll talk to my people.
Yeah, your production team in Australia.
They are real. They exist.
Yeah, nobody in this country will work with you. But after that, so after I ran and lost for mayor, I was like, okay, well, I decided it was really a decision to just go 100% in and be this personality. And, I had a professor at grad school that was like, for your thesis, don't worry about having an exhibit, because I was in art school.
Yeah.
Don't worry about having an exhibit. She goes, you're going to write a paper about this experience and what your goals are. And I suggest you become this character.
Wait a minute. So Murray is a school project?
It came from that.
Wow.
The mayor part. Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're running from it because there is a senior thesis. A master's thesis about, and it's Murray for mayor.
That's crazy.
So, and she really encouraged me to and it's stuck with me all the time. Is to look at things in a non-traditional way. Like, you're not going to put 8 pictures on the wall and do a presentation for your thesis. It's what's going to make you stand out in New York, right?
Yeah.
What's, you big fish, little pond, whatever the saying is. So I became Murray, and, my thesis presentation, I had the academic paper and all that crap, but I had a campaign rally during the thesis in the auditorium.
That's crazy.
And
that's crazy.
Now I'm going to tell you a fun fact, Angie.
That's so fun.
You want to hear this?
Yes.
Because it's all, what do you call it? It's all, what's that word I'm looking for? It wasn't any specific choice. Like, when I was a kid, all right, and this is like high school, as a tomboy, a lot of gender confusion and all that
I've
crap.
seen the pictures.
Yeah, Showbiz. So for book reports, okay?
Yeah.
And this is, when I was a kid.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily read the book, but I would think of a creative way to stand out and to approach it in an original way. So I remember I did, I had to do a report on Mark Twain. So I literally dressed up as Mark Twain, got a wig, dressed up as a guy, put the mustache on, and went to school on the bus.
Oh my God.
And I was just walking around as Mark Twain all day. And then I, during the book report section, I maybe did 10 minutes on it, but I got an A.
Because you were doing impersonation, and I've seen you do them on stage.
Yes.
I just had a flashback.
And I don't know, I think you went to high school in New Jersey, so I don't know if you had to read.
Not too much.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have to read the Scarlet Letter?
No,
Yeah,
not me. I was in the lowest level classes. They didn't make us read much.
No comment. But
I know the story of the Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter. Hester Prynne. She wore an A.
Yes.
On her dress, and all this stuff had happened. So I believe that was in 7th grade that we were reading that. So I went to school.
Oh no, you didn't.
Wearing overalls. And a huge A on my...
You lived to learn.
On my overalls. And I walked around all day, and people were laughing and being funny and pointing. And then I kind of tied it in with the whole book. And anyway, so it's there was opposite sex day. Here's another tidbit for you. I know I'm talking a lot, but you just made me a coffee.
I know, it's so good.
I'll take another one whenever you get a chance. But it's Spirit Week back then. Nothing was PC, of course. So
yeah,
right before homecoming, they would have 5 themed days, and one of them was opposite sex day. And so I dressed like a biker.
Oh my God!
And I'll never ever forget this until as long as I live. My art teacher, Mrs. DeCosmo, she talked like this: "Hey, how are you, Mrs. DeCosmo?" She's real rough and tumble.
Yes.
She goes, "Hey, listen. I'm just going to tell you, you look a lot better as a guy."
No, she didn't.
And it was just one of those things I was like, I just never forget it. I was like, oh.
Mrs. DeCosmo did not hold back.
No, you look much better than, as a guy. I'm like, okay. Handsome. I was like, okay.
And did that have a lifelong influence on you?
I didn't quite know how to process it then, but well, maybe we're having a breakthrough right now.
I think that this has turned into a breakthrough.
Because people, I think as far as my looks and the image and all that stuff, I definitely got more positive attention when I was male presenting.
That's very interesting.
Maybe we should take a break here.
Would you like a glass of water?
What did you say?
Would you like a glass of water?
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 Is that how you say water in New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that are wondering what's happening right now, it's called deflection.
Boom, boom. We'll put a rim shot in there.
Yeah, I'll give you a rim shot.
All right. I'm learning a lot lot about you right now, and like your full
I'm
immersion.
gonna have to kill you after this.
It's okay. It's all right. It wouldn't be the first time. But you immerse yourself into everything, like completely, from your school projects to your shows to everything that you do.
I do.
Everything. Yeah, you do. Like, all right. So Murray is also a producer. So in this burlesque world, in this performance world, Murray also produces his own shows, which not everybody does in this community. And you do it very thoroughly. And now I see where this whole kind of stream comes from. Like you are,
yeah, and it's
not
full
system,
and it's not that exciting. Also, but also during that, early days of Murray, I had a full-blown corporate job.
Yes, and so you've learned from that as well.
So that, like the management, the production, because I was in charge of teams and shit like that, and coding and all that stuff.
But that serves you well in this world because you can handle all the elements of these projects and these shows and these performances.
Yeah, and, it's the Italian way. I'm a self-starter.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So I want to go back to like Murray turning into like Lounge Lizard to Don Rickles to like all of this, right? So you take all of these influences and you incorporate them into your act. This wasn't what was happening at the drag clubs at that time, right?
No,
I mean, like what was the vibe? Like what were most people performing when they were on stage?
I mean, it wasn't as campy then.
Yeah, it was more serious.
I was probably one of the first people to like literally embrace camp, say that I'm doing it, and using that as my strategy and goal. A lot of the stuff, and it's still like this. Well, today it's a little bit different, but a lot of the drag was like a reveal, like the kings would like take off their pants and have like a huge dildo out, and like it's like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I was heavily influenced by drag queens in Boston, which that's a whole nother tangent. But the drag queen culture was back then. There was called drag etiquette. Nobody knew your name. Nobody knew what your deal was. You always stayed in, and I always felt from day one that if I stayed as Murray and didn't quote unquote do a reveal, that would be more powerful than getting people off the hook to think of what they want to think.
Right.
So now people aren't, they're like, what? That still happens 25 years later.
Completely.
But
I've seen it.
I disarm them with the comedy and the camp, and then that to me, sitting at the table is where I want to be.
Well, that's what one of like my favorite things about you is that, of course, there's like tremendous political undertones in your performance. You take these roles of like these totally machismo guys from like a pretty sexist era, and you like turn it on its ear, and then you make fun of it consistently. And there's something that happens when you do that. Like I've seen you take audiences that are like frat boys. Like we walk into the club and we're like sweating, or like these totally conservative audiences in like these rural towns, and we walk in and we're like, oh my god, they're gonna hate the show. And at the end of the show, you are their favorite thing, and they don't ask any questions or try to put some labels on you. Like maybe once in a while one like really drunk person will be like, hey, but most of the time they just love you. No, and they just want to take their picture with you and follow you on Instagram and Facebook.
The Birchmere show, there was a really conservative woman.
Yeah, this is in Virginia, in Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah, and she came up, she goes, I don't know what I just saw. I've never seen anybody like you. She goes, my sons are in the military. We're a military family, and I just want to thank you. I mean, we just needed to laugh tonight, and you laughed, and you made all of us feel accepted and comfortable. Like that's why I do it.
Yes.
That's my coping mechanism to have survived my own life, and that's how I, it's like you show. It's like you show people that you have heart,
yeah,
and that they're welcome. And
right?
If they feel that. That's the thing with like Don Rickles and Joan Rivers, these old school cats, that they weren't assholes. They were abrasive. They on their comedy, they were offensive and all that stuff. But they both came from. Not only did they come from an outsider perspective, but they came from a good place.
Yes.
So I'm never crass.
No.
Or any of that kind of stuff. I can definitely overstep every once in a while.
but you always bring it back in, and everybody's always laughing. You know, it's like you're never too harsh. You have the great barometer, but you don't cross it. And I think that is the really phenomenal message that entertainers can send, to go into these venues and not beat people over the head with something, but rather deliver it to them in a way that they're like, oh my God, I get it. I'm not afraid. Yeah. I love this person. I want them to come to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. I like to let them in and we all get along.
And I see it. I've seen it.
And be edgy as fuck and do all that other stuff.
Yeah, Murray's always everybody's favorite when the show's over.
Well, I mean, it's very easy to be the favorite in one of your shows.
Hey, buddy.
No, I'm just kidding. She's, the ballerina acts, the go-go things.
Murray and I have known each other for like over 20 years now, so.
I could do all of her acts with my eyes closed because when she's doing acts, my eyes are usually closed.
They're closed. Ha ha ha.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Angie.
The comedy never ends. So I want
air conditioning in this makeshift studio.
This is our little lounge down here is kind of cave-like. Shut up. Murray is rolling his eyes and tapping his fingers.
Just waiting for that extra coffee.
Comedy. All right. So you do the live shows. You're sending this message. It's absolutely amazing. One thing I've noticed about you, and I know about you because we're friends, whenever writers write about you, they always want to slap a label on you. How does that make you feel?
I appreciate you really rehearsing that question. The delivery of that was really on point. How does that make you feel? It drives me fucking crazy.
I know it does.
Because politically, I don't believe in being ID'd by your sexuality. Mm-hmm. I just don't. And to say that I'm a drag king, I mean, I get called so much.
Or gender bender comedian.
Yeah, or one of my favorite one when we were in, I don't know if it was Venice or one of those things, but it was something from the burlesque that they called me an obese transvestite.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I've been called drag queen. I've been called everything.
Right.
And, my thing, which is it wasn't popular then, it's not even popular today because now ID politics are even more.
They're heavy.
There's a name for everything now. Mm-hmm. I just want to be called Murray.
Yeah. And I get that. And I see it.
If I'm a drag king or if I'm I'm not just one thing, first of all, and I feel like it's very reductive.
Right.
But just Murray.
I feel like on one hand, it's like, you inspire so many kids who would look up to you and maybe they're going to identify with drag king. And so they see that and that empowers them. And there's a positive message within that, especially because, the gender labels are very strong right now. But on the same token, I totally am like, yeah, you're a comedian. Why does everybody want to label you and just have to compartmentalize?
This is not a popular opinion, but I'm an assimilist. I want equal rights. I want to be treated the same. I want to be spoken to the same way as the quote unquote, mainstream culture. And, if you put something in front of comedian or something in front of Murray, then to me, you're discriminating and I'm different from you. And no,
it kind of compartmentalizes you. It's like, oh, Murray's a drag king comedian. He's a niche comedian. Nobody puts Murray in a box. No.
But I would love a box of candy right now if you've got any.
I'll talk to my production assistant.
Yeah, can you tell your production assistant maybe put the fan on in here?
I know there is no fan in here. There's some bad news for you. Murray is really into the circulation of air. If you share a dressing room with Murray, he does not like cramped spaces or hairspray. I'm with you on that, and I agree. And I think it's amazing because in the live shows, nobody cares. Nobody asks. They're just having a great time, and they go home and they talk about it with their family and their friends. And they love it, but every time somebody writes a story on you, it's like that's the redundant thing.
It's annoying.
Well, and okay, this is my other favorite thing about you. You always have said, and this goes along with your previous message, like if you don't see yourself represented out there, to get out and represent yourself, and you just shove yourself into the mix, and that's kind of what you've done here. Right into my basement.
No, well, you should,
actually, never mind. I made you come here.
Yeah, you should let the listeners know that we are in a quarantine shelter at home, and I was bribed to do this podcast.
Yes,
from being promised an Italian barbecue.
It's coming.
after this. So I hope that this is the last question.
All right.
Did you ask me a question just
No,
now?
I didn't really ask you a
because
question.
I'm so hot. I'm starting to pass
Just
out.
saying how. All right. So you walk the walk.
Oh yeah,
that you
if you don't
represent
see
yourself.
represent it. Go out and represent yourself. And that is true. When I first started doing this, I started Murray because I didn't see a place for me in the gay queer community,
The scene that was
in the drag
happening.
community. I didn't see people like me represented. So I mean, my thesis statement was to raise the visibility, and I'm still doing that 25 years later. And, I'm still a lot of the times the only one that's doing this or only one that's doing that, or, or still get called a drag queen. It's nuts. But if this shelter ever happens, I finally got 2 mainstream TV jobs, and I'm hoping that really, it gets all the politics and the performance, all that stuff, on a larger level. Because I've tried to get on TV, as you know,
Yes.
forever.
One of my questions is how many pilots or or pitches have you written?
Well, I've done so many pilots. They've named JFK the Murray Hill Airport. And as far as pitching goes, I'm the Mariano Rivera of
How many
TV.
times has someone said to you, I've got a great idea for a TV show for you? It's like a variety show, and you host it, and there's
Yeah.
like a band, and you bring out acts, and you're like, okay, I've been doing that since the beginning of time.
And the rejections over the years have changed, but first of all, it's like, I love you, you're great, I don't know what to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, that was a consistent 10 years. Now I did some pitching last summer, and the feedback is it's too niche and too showbiz.
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay.
Do you remember when me and Murray had a part in a TV show on HBO? I was out of town. I flew back to do it. It was a big deal. We went and we did it. We shot all day. We were like pulled out. We had extra parts. We were so pumped. And then they cut us, which is not the first time that's happened. But I said to Murray, I feel like we have to be positive about this, because for the first time, the director actually wrote us an email personally and was like, I'm really sorry that we had to cut you. In the past, they would have never even told us that we got cut. We would just be watching it at home and cry.
I think it was so bad and shameless that we got cut out of so much that they felt like they needed to write.
Oh yeah, because basically they cut the entire scene.
And then all of our friends who were in it as like background, they got the main part. So, but I'm still kind of getting over that.
Showbiz.
But that casting agent,
Yes, right, for sure,
helped me get Amy Schumer's job.
And so
it's that's the thing in showbiz. You got to keep going,
and that's what is going to happen when this ends.
Hopefully, yes.
You're going to be on TV, and finally,
Hulu,
the whole
Love
world.
Beth called Hulu, and then an HBO show.
Come on, that's freaking exciting.
Yeah, so let's get this stuff wrapped up.
You got to go and record.
No, I meant the COVID.
Oh, the COVID.
Oh,
yes,
Jesus
yes. No,
Christ.
seriously. Well, isn't that the showbiz? You finally get these huge gigs, and hey, pandemic.
Yeah. It's the story of my life.
Oh my God.
I'm about to break.
Oh, yeah, that's about to break. All right, so.
Oh, tired. How many more fucking questions do you have?
Just coming. I am freaking sweating, and it's not because
I'm
the room's
sweating.
hot. You're making me sweat.
No, you know what's making you sweat? First of all, your tracksuit from Fashion Nova is not made from real fabric. Okay, so it's plastic. You're wearing a plastic tracksuit, and it's 350 degrees in this room.
I know.
So don't blame me on you sweating.
Oh my God.
I know you're too young to.
Hey, watch it, buddy boy. All right.
hot.
So,
No, but in all seriousness, how many questions left?
come on, just go with my flow. Not too many.
All right, do we need to
Do you
pause
want
for-
that barbecue? No, I think we're okay. It's still going. All right, so going back to visibility, if you don't see yourself represented or represent yourself, you went above and beyond that, and you helped to represent others when you launched some of your amazing productions like Miss Les and Mr. Trans Man. Talk a little bit about that, Murray. What were those shows like?
My God, this is a living nightmare. But I still want the barbecue, so I've got to continue. No, I've always had my own personal agenda. And I also felt it was important to use these skills that I have to make spaces for the community, to literally create space. Drag queens, the ballroom dancers. Like, there's such a huge, long history for drag queens and trans people. It's so much, but there hasn't been for drag kings or trans men or any of that stuff. So
this was 2000 that you started doing this. This is
I
a
think
long
so.
time ago.
So, and it's still way imbalanced today. So I wanted to do something. No matter how mainstream I'm trying to get at all times, I always want to do something for the community and taking up space and creating a space where people feel they can express and be and do whatever the fuck they want.
And I think you create platforms that draw really diverse crowds, like those shows would always be packed, and the crowd wasn't just gay, it was really mixed
and
crowd.
That's when I tear up.
Oh, you really like that? Those shows were, and they were big shows. You had huge casts and full productions. And
the only
bands.
reason I stopped doing them is because I went on tour.
Yeah,
which we will not mention at this interview.
Okay, all right.
10 years of my life.
Just X out that page right there.
No,
but you they were amazing. Do you remember when I worked security at the knitting factory? I think it was Trans Man. I was the security guard in the front of the stage.
Well, we like to get a couple of femmes out there on the front lines.
It was really fun. But you always, you have a track record of producing these giant shows that go on forever and become cult favorites, like your Christmas show that you've been doing for 647 years.
Yes. And the Christmas show too. It's always, it's about love and acceptance. The theme every year.
Oh, it's a journey. That show is a journey from start to finish. It's a nonstop thrill ride.
Well, someone broke their leg, so you were able to get in on the cast.
Finally. I love that show. And that happens multiple nights at Joe's Pub. But you started with the Murray Hill show, and that was at Fez. Right?
Yeah.
Was that at Fez?
I used to do my Christmas show at Fez.
What about Mo Pickens? That was second.
That was after.
Yeah,
Fez.
that was after.
Yeah.
No, and your Oscar show. And then we had our beautiful time doing choreo. This is burlesque together.
Yes, we produced a show 4 times a week.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Yeah. And our dressing room was literally the size of a postage stamp.
Literally. And there was a praying mantis there one night.
And Roy almost killed me as he threw me out of the way to open the door, but you couldn't open the door without crushing my body behind the door.
And you deserved it.
He did crush my body behind the door.
Well, first of all, your body's already crushed. Also, for the listeners out there, Angie stands at 4'9".
I am 5'2". And 3/4.
Yeah.
If I can set the record straight.
I saw your daughter playing with the 3/4 upstairs.
Yeah, my daughter's almost as tall as me, and she's 4, and that makes me sad inside. So Murray on stage.
Oh, God. Yes.
Murray in the morning going to get coffee. 360. You talked about this with your college thesis, immersion into your character. When you go get coffee in the morning, are you like, hey, babe, coffee?
I usually don't talk like I have to take a shit, so I do appreciate that that impersonation. Hey, baby,
God.
Can I have some coffee? Yeah, I mean, I think when I first started, there wasn't too much division between personal life and showbiz life.
Yes.
Now there's a little bit, but essentially, and this might become shocking, I'm pretty much the same person. I'm just more amplified.
Oh, I'm well aware of this. This is not a shock to me. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, I've known you for a long time. I see your husband's music charts in front of me, and one of the songs he's working on is "I'm Beginning to See Light."
He's trying. Yeah. It's your fault that we're married in the first place.
No light in the basement.
Murray, he didn't introduce me, but Murray connected me to Brian, set us up on our first date.
Yeah, it involved a lot of Budweisers, late nights, and
yes.
The rest you're going to have to DM me on my Instagram.
We had, speaking of a lot of Budweisers, we partied pretty hard in our early days.
Remember me on Sambuca?
Oh, I got it. In Italy. Oh, my God. We had this amazing trip to Italy, and amazing is a code word for question.
Let me explain.
Yes, go.
Angie got us this gig to do the Venice Film Festival. So we went out to Venice, first class, and all this stuff. And basically, the trouble started when we landed.
Yes.
Anyway, cut to getting, transported to this island that was an old insane asylum.
San Salvador.
And there was a huge party going on. People were going crazy, like it was like Ibiza, loud music, strobe lights. Basically, everyone was having the time of their life. The music stopped with the screech.
Yes.
And then they threw me out.
And they put on that spotlight. It was like Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, they put on the spotlight that literally burned my eyelids, and I was blind. I couldn't see anything. And within 2 seconds, I'm talking, and guess what? Nobody speaks English. So that's what you call DOA, dead on arrival. And that's like when I got mad at Angie.
Because Murray said, do they speak English? I said, don't worry, everybody speaks English. But your physical comedy carried you through. I had a quick costume change when I said, Murray, you have to talk for at least 2 minutes. And you said, no, I don't.
That was the stink bomb.
I think that was the first time you were actually mad at me.
Yeah, I'm still not over it.
But while we were there, we eventually escaped the island and we found like a little bed and breakfast that we stayed at for a couple of days, and we had a lovely time. And we would go down into the square every night and drink our faces off and dance around the fountain. And
everyone thought you were Amy Winehouse.
Everybody thought I was Amy Winehouse back then. So they would literally scream "Amy, Amy" while we walked along the canal path. But I remember we did one night. We had so much sambuca.
Yeah, I broke out in hives.
You broke out in hives.
And then you guys laughed at me while I sat there suffering. Nothing has changed.
But you didn't even know you were suffering for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's called fucking boozing.
We were nervous. Okay, so we don't roll like that anymore. Things have changed.
No, I just do hard drugs, which are prescribed by my psychiatrist. No need for a rim shot there. That's truth. You can put a harp sound.
In the olden times, we would go to 3 parties a night, stay out all night. Now we get home right after and text each other. Did you get home? Are you in bed yet?
That must be one of your other boyfriends.
No, that's you. Do you remember once me and Murray went to a party? Well, he told me it was a party, but actually we were walk around entertainment. He said, you want to come to this party with me? John Wooders is going to be there. It's going to be amazing. And I got there. We were actually walk around entertainment, but we did have fun. But do you remember, didn't we ride the elevator up with Mayor Bloomberg and his Secret Service?
Yes, we did.
It was me, you, Bloomberg, and the Secret Service. And he was just as tall as we are.
Yeah, and I said, how you doing? You're doing a great job.
And he did not know what the frick was going on.
How many more questions?
I'm almost there. My face hurts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, stop. It's hard
because your treatments that you got done.
Listen, it's been 3 months that I've been locked in my house. I haven't gotten any treatments. I want to play a game with you.
A game?
Yeah, a game.
You're going to say top or bottom and I have to answer?
I'm excited about this. I'm going to say...
What's the name of this game?
Oh, I didn't really give it a name. The memory game.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say something and you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, shit.
All right, you ready?
Is this an intervention?
No, I tried that years ago. It didn't work. All right, are you ready?
All right, so you say something and then I just say the first thing that comes to mind?
Yeah, you can't think about it too much.
Well, I won't.
Okay, good. All right. Hot patch.
You sitting on my back.
Penny for your thoughts?
Me heckling you that during your ballerina number.
Rhode Island Hotel.
Rhode Island Hotel. Is that where you went with that soccer player?
No.
You left me,
no.
You left me and the rest of the cast.
No,
at
no.
La Quinta?
No. Okay. Dry skin.
That's when we stayed at a hotel. The sheets were so pillared or whatever they're called. And I said that they were exfoliating sheets.
Yes. Exfoliating sheets.
Nancy is a tour persona that I have. And she is female, so it gives me a chance to explore that. And Nancy is a creation to deal with tour life with Angie and the cast members. And Nancy doesn't like loud music. She doesn't like talking. She doesn't like the window open. She likes
horses,
reading, and horses.
Okay, last one. I blame you.
Any showbiz problem? Because you have roped me into so many gigs that have turned out to be complete shit shows. And when for example, I'm doing an auction.
Oh, this is the best.
I'm doing an auction, and they never turned down a silent auction, may I say. They never turned the blasting DJ music off. So I'm like up there on the podium.
Oh, they also never turned a light on you. Just to point that out.
No light. Music was full blasting, and then somebody hit the button to put the movie screen down, which was, I'm screaming, turn it up, and then it hits me in the head. It goes down, the music's playing, and I looked at her and I said, I blame you.
And you know what I did as a true friend? I taped it. I put up my phone and I just took all pictures and I videoed it, and it was mad. I thought that was a great night. All right, this is my last question for you. I promise. I'm going to go make you some nice gnocchi. All right. Ooh. So, gnocchis. I'm going to make you gnocchis. And I got some.
Oh, I thought you said it gnocchis.
Well, it's an gnocchi, but some people say gnocchi, but I say gnocchi.
What are you saying?
I'm going to make you an gnocchis.
With those little
potato pastas? Dumplings, yeah.
What did you just call me? You just called me a little fucking potato dumpling on a fucking podcast?
I did. I'm sorry. I know you don't like labels.
Okay, meatball.
Oh my God. It's all right. I know I'm a meatball. All right. So you host show. You're a comedian. You do all this different stuff. Do you love burlesque shows? Is that where your heart lies? Murray, are you okay? Murray, are you breathing? Come on, you've been doing burlesque shows for 20 years. Don't they have a special place in your heart? Or are you going to get a TV show and be like, bye, bitches?
No, burlesque, it's where I got most of my stage experience with touring with Dita, with you, going around. And burlesque allowed me to do my own style of comedy. It wasn't like the stand-up circuit, which I never liked, and so I'll always be endeared to. You checking your watch while I'm talking?
No, I'm saying
I'm checking my watch because
I'm listening to you.
I want to get out of here.
I got a buzz on my watch.
Yeah, I got a buzz on my watch. I want to eat the goddamn cheeseburgers and hot dogs. That's why I fucking came over here.
You learned a lot. You love it. You can't live without
burlesque
us.
Is it's also interesting. Like in the old days, Jerry Lewis, Don Rickles, they started in Milton Berle. They started in burlesque clubs. They would do shtick in the lounge, 5 minutes, and then the girl would come up and do a routine, and they go back and forth. So unconsciously, I'm like part of that long, long history, and I do nothing about it. I just did it.
Organic.
So it's always a part of my history, and I still do it. There's still nothing. When it's right, it's right. Me, showgirls, a band. There's nothing
perfect.
more I want to be doing.
I have an idea for a TV show for you. It's like a variety show.
What, Uncut Basement Blues?
I know.
I'm starting to see the green light.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
that was an attempt at a joke. I'm sorry you wrote that.
I didn't write that joke.
No, you've been waiting for the last 3 hours to tell me that. Go ahead, say it again one more time.
No. Oh, am I a TV show idea? Yeah. I have this idea for a TV show. I think it would be a great pilot. Uh-huh. Like you and a band and some dancing girls. It could be like a variety show. They come out, do a number, and then you could interview them.
Oh, that sounds great.
You should work on it.
Great idea.
I know some people. I know somebody who could be in the band. It's difficult to work with.
Overpriced.
Oh my God. Well, burlesque loves you, Murray Hill.
And that was very genuine the way you said that.
I think I do too.
And I know you secretly love me because, your face hurts, you laugh, you smile.
You always make me laugh. I can't even take it.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my job.
Well, thank you for coming to my basement.
Yeah, it's as I said, I'm happy to be bribed with food, and I can be bought and sold.
Well, perfect. Consider this transaction complete. Cha-ching.
This showbiz. Angie, I'll do anything for you, even that.
Oh, I love you. All right, and it's
wow. Did you just say that on recording?
I did.
You just said it's the first time you said I love me. In 27 years.
Love you.
But now I got it on tape.
You could listen to it over and over again.
I will when I'm lying awake at night dealing with my insomnia tonight.
You could just text me.
All right. Well, Angie, great job doing the questions.
Thank you so much. I printed them out.
She printed them out in a Trapper Keeper folder, and we're going to be auctioning them off later tonight. And please follow me on Instagram at murrayhill.
At Murray Hill.
At Murray Hill.
You're just at Murray Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
I had to plug myself because, I haven't been getting too many plugs.
I was going to do it when I do my whole thing.
All right, you can cut this part as bad.
All right. Let's go. I'll do the whole outro later. Thank you, Murray. You're the bestest.
Oh, you're really inspiration.
I know. The inspiration. The inspiration never ends. Thank you for tuning in to another week of the Bump and Grind. I'm Angie Pontani, and you can find me on Instagram slinging backstage magic, recipes, amazing pictures of my daughter, and more at Angie Pontani. Want to see more of Murray Hill? You know you do. He's even funnier in pictures. You could follow him at Murray Hill on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. This is Angie Pontani signing off with a big old tassel twirl. I'll catch you next time.
This has been a Giant Panda King production. You can find us at giantpandaking.com and on Instagram at giantpandaking.